Pretty belly. Rematch clause come from your side, not mine. Stop whining and ducking. Be a man. Ink the contract or vacate the belt. I need undisputed. And not to play your stupid games.
And there you have it, folks. Oleksandr Usyk immediately responds to Tyson Fury's no rematch clause all of a sudden because it's in Wembley. And here's the thing, he was just informing him, which is logical. Like, the rematch clause was something that you guys implemented in the contract that we were dealing with. See, the contract stayed the same pretty much. So they thought. Whereas the location, changed. So the location from Saudi Arabia, from Wembley, that changed. But the things that were supposed to be implemented in the contract supposed to stay the same because both sides already agreed on it. So obviously Tyson Fury has went back and, taken that out, as we know. But it's showing now that that's not a deal breaker for Oleksandr Usyk because he's like, listen, stop playing these games because at this point I know and I'm on to you. I've been on to you. You started this 70-30 stuff. You turned out all that Saudi money because you wanted to look like the next big swing and you know what, okay? And you did that and you got that. And then now that was supposed to have been this big deal about the money. And now it's all about, hey, well, I'm hearing Tyson saying, I'm hearing about Usyk wanting a rematch. Well, okay, the rematch was already there from your end anyway. So if you took that out, that was something that they probably pinpointed and mapped out that changed from one contract to the next contract. So the revised contract didn't have that in there. That's just the lawyer's job to do that. That's why Tyson said, I noticed all these lawyers are now saying Usyk's lawyers. Yeah, they're looking out because they said, okay, well, this was there before, but it's not here now. So where is the rematch clause implemented? Where is the statement or the pages that talk about in detail, discuss the rematch clause? Where is it? And now he's like, oh, how about there isn't one? Well, that's what they tried to do. They tried to pull a fast one, hoping that Usyk would sign it right away without the lawyers pinpointing the differences between the contracts. But understand, Tyson Fury wanted that before. Don't act like it's Oleksandr Usyk was asking for something that wasn't there. It was already there. So it just puts me in the mind. It really makes me understand that Tyson Fury's making this uncomfortable as possible. Now it could be mind games. However, Usyk, has came back and you can tell he's angry. He's like, hey, be a man. Quit whining and sign the contract or vacate the belt. Because at this point, it's just absurd. It's absurd of what you're trying to do. You're trying to argue over something. And, here's the weird thing. Fury doing all this to make this fight as difficult as possible, just like he did last year, really, because, we had one hurdle of the Joshua negotiations with, the 60-40, and it was something with the rematch. Now in this fight, there is no rematch. And that makes you thinking like, okay, well, what's so different about Usyk not getting a rematch versus Joshua getting one? I'm going to tell you one. It's better and it's easier to fathom in Tyson's mind that he would beat Joshua before fighting someone that he's never faced. See, he sparred Joshua before, just like he sparred Dillian White before. I heard that those sparring sessions went, they were quite interesting. However, I think he knows that Oleksandr Usyk is dangerous, but then by all this complications and confusing things that he's doing, he's throwing up, he's making it by default, making Usyk that much dangerous, making him appear that much dangerous because you didn't do this shit with Derek Chisora. You didn't do this with any of those guys that it took this, that, and the other to make. You didn't have all these problems. Now all of a sudden you have these plethora of problems that you're dealing with, and I don't understand, why. You're only making it that much worse, and people doubt you because what happens when, just like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, Errol had all these stupid things that he wanted Terrence to concede to, and Terrence said yes, 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 to the point they were like, okay, this dude doesn't want to fight, and you're changing the date of this whole ordeal. That's why Terrence Crawford fought Avanesian on BOK Prime, because he was no longer with ESPN. And that may be what Tyson Fury is trying to do, because at this point Usyk, his whole demeanor has changed. He's like, yeah, greedy belly, but look, hey, sign the contract, be a man, stop whining, because you're whining at this point. Because it's Tyson Fury having a problem with what they tried to secretly take out of that contract versus what was already there. And I think Tyson, and you hear Tyson saying, hey, agree to that, bitch. It's almost like, hey, let's see how far I can bend this guy before he leaves. Before that side says, you know what, Tyson, you're a punk. People won't respect you for this. We're going to let the world know we're out, like Shark Tank. And I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's really trying to create a situation where this fight don't take place. And if it does, it's like, hey, it's better for me, better for me, better for me. And I'm on my own turf. I'm making the most money, the bigger share of the pot. And I don't have to fight you again if I win a decision. I can go on about my career and do whatever I want to do in my career. But it just shows you that, this may be a problem for Tyson, making all these complications and these hurdles, just creating these hurdles. This shouldn't even be in a discussion. Tyson Fury shouldn't even posted this. But then again, here's the counterpunch with Oleksandr Usyk responding the way he is. Like, hey, vacate if you don't like it. But I think Tyson likes the idea of that WBC, because that's something that he never had. The WBC, regarding as possibly the most prestigious belt in all this, that, and the other. But he's gone all about it wrong, and he's just giving Oleksandr Usyk more power, because people with a logical mind, without being brainwashed or biased or whatever, they're starting to wake up and see Tyson Fury's making this difficult because of uncertainty, because he's unsure, So since he has all these doubts, there may be, some caution, there may be some concern with beating Usyk, so they want to make it that much more, because fighting him again, hey, it's better chance of winning in Wembley again, but Usyk's like, hey, vacate the belt, because I'm not going anywhere. So I think Tyson is now dealing with a fighter that refuses to go anywhere. But if he does, why, or could you blame Oleksandr Usyk at this point for dropping the bout with such trivial ask or favors? These terms are very trivial. A rematch clause. Okay, fight this guy once. You don't know how this fight's going to pan out, Tyson. He might beat you. You know what I mean? But then, Lomachenko learned that lesson against Teofimo Lopez back in the day. You never want to face someone that you've never fought with no rematch clause, because you don't know how that fight was going to turn out. You know what I mean? In the duration of those 12 rounds, Teofimo Lopez Jr. was the victor. Okay? So, again, I think that Tyson Fury, is doing his due diligence to make this fight either not happen or difficult as possible, so it won't happen, because I just don't see why he's not. But I don't think Usyk is going to go anywhere if, the big things we've already got over. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. The biggest problems with the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua negotiations was, first of all, it was the rematch clause and the split. Okay, those were supposed to be the biggest reasons why, or the biggest hurdle in that whole negotiations. And then all of a sudden, those hurdles that were jumped, that they overcame both sides, it came to a screeching halt because Tyson Fury created a deadline. Let you guys and let that set in. You guys tell me what you think about Oleksandr Usyk now responding, telling Tyson Fury to be a man, sign the contract or vacate. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.